Hey y'all, for today's reading, we're gonna do my Dark Goddess Tarot. This is the first deck that I ever purchased, and it is hands down still one of my favorites. And I say that about every deck, but I'm telling you, this one, when I'm personally going through like dark phases and stuff, I love this deck. It works with every goddess you can think of. Every card represents a specific goddess and what they stand for, and it explains their story and everything. So I love working with that deck. I'm not asking for a certain number of cards today. I'm just asking for whatever the collective today needs to hear. And we will go from there. Hopefully today's reading will not be longer than like an hour, so we don't have like 2 or 3 freaking parts, because my tablet only has so much storage until I am able to get a new phone or something, so I can start like actually doing lives and stuff. But we'll get there when we get there. Or make do with what we have for now. Oh. This might be like a shorter reading than the past few have been. I'm getting a lot of earth energy. A lot of earth energy. Whoever this collective is, you are definitely another earth card. You're definitely being called to connect with nature more, for sure. You need to connect with nature. It will help you kind of ground yourself in yourself and come back to the center of you and who you are. You may be struggling through a depression, or you may be feeling like you're drowning. There might be outer influences. You may be going through a conflict with someone, or there's someone around you, someone from your past that maybe you're no longer involved with, or it could be family, it could be friends, it could be coworkers. there's someone that you're kind of having a conflict with. There's a lot of pain and sorrow involving it. You may be feeling a lot of depression, anxiety, loneliness, kind of feeling lost, not knowing where you are, where you need to go, what direction you need to go. The first card that we pulled is the Eight of Earth card, and this is my Dark Goddess Tarot. So like I said, every single card is going to represent a different goddess and what they stand for. The Eight of Earth is, ooh, guys, oh, of course that's the first one. I can't say this any day I try to. I want to say it's K-Leech. I don't know, but it's the Scottish Goddess of Winter. So if you look up Scottish Goddess of Winter, you will find out what the name is. This card represents that the mountain is built stone by stone. So whatever you're working towards in your life, whatever you're trying to get towards right now, remember that the only way it's going to come into fruition is if you do the work, the nitty-gritty work. You got to do it. You got to do it day by day, every day. Do what you can to get you there. Don't look at necessarily building the empire in one day, but look at what you can do to contribute to building that empire each day without draining yourself and while still taking care of yourself. So it says to work steadily, work in proved and respectful ways. There's no cheating on this path in life. There are no shortcuts to a lasting achievement. You got to do the work. You got to do it genuine, and you got to do it with right intention. You may be well rewarded in other ways, but let the work itself be valuable to you. Your efforts should bring you strength, not depletion. So you should find confidence and a little bit of, not identity, but connection to your efforts to build something that means a lot to you and to work towards something that means a lot to you. Keep an eye on the larger picture. Look at where your daily steps are taking you. See where making an adjustment to a routine might take you somewhere better. It says that for any rituals, you can try traditional cord magic. I'm not going to go into that because if you're interested in traditional cord magic, you can look it up and read on it. I've only got like an hour to do this reading, so we're going to make the most of it. So we have the Eight of Earth, which is telling you that whatever your bigger picture is right now, wherever you're trying to get into life, stop trying to rush it. Understand that any project that anyone wants to bring into fruition or wants to build or create, it has to be done correctly, and it has to be done genuinely, and it has to be done with pure intention. No matter what it is you're trying to build or create or bring into fruition, you can't do it in one day. You can't force it. You can't just snap your finger and be like, it's done. It's not possible. Find some confidence in yourself, and also let the work that you have to do speak for itself. Like, put the work in and then find confidence in that, and know that you're actually feeding your energy into something that you want to happen, that you want to create. That alone is beautiful in itself. So you have to remember that. You got to go stone by stone. So day by day, one step at a time. Don't keep an eye on the larger picture, but don't let it overwhelm you. Remember that to get to there, you got to do it day by day, and don't attach to the outcome, and don't attach to how you get to that bigger picture. Just keep an eye on the bigger picture and do what you can to get yourself there each day. The next card that we drew is Seven of Fire. This is actually one of my favorite cards of this deck. I have drawn it a lot in my own personal readings. Seven of Fire represents rising up, or you let the demons win. The goddess is Durga, which is the Hindu fierce mother goddess. This card reminds you to know which weapon to use for the fight. So wherever you are right now, if you are in a conflict with somebody, which you may be, or if you have recently cut someone out of your life, or someone's cut you out of your life and you're kind of just feeling lost and dark, you need to look at the bigger picture of the situation and what's going on. Really find yourself, center in yourself, ground yourself, and realize what you want to outcome of the situation. Like, where do you want to be at the end of this situation? How do you want to handle it? Who are you to your cores? What are your beliefs, or to your core? What are your beliefs? What are your morals? How do you want to handle this situation? How do you want to be seen and interpreted from how you handle yourself and your side of the issue that's going on? Know your ground, know your position, and make a stand. Defend your rights and the rights of others. Do not confuse rights with privileges, nor convenience with virtue. So if you're being disrespected or your rights are not being respected and acknowledged and protected the way that you deserve for them to be, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. And if there's someone else in the situation, maybe there could be children in the situation, maybe not, but if there is somebody outside of yourself who is not being respected the way that they deserve because people are just taking advantage of them or just flat out disrespecting them and their rights, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to say something. Remember that fierce compassion begins with self-care. Fight the demons, not yourself. Whatever you're struggling with right now, whatever you struggle with at any point in life, the issues that come up in ourselves or the demons that we find that we really need to face and learn to love more so that we can come into more full acceptance of ourselves and who we are to our core. Don't be afraid of those demons. Don't be afraid of the darker side of yourself. Don't be afraid of yourself, of the side of yourself who is dark, who is maybe disrespectful, maybe immature, maybe just flat out nasty. I don't know. Don't be scared of that side of yourself. We all have a dark side. We all have light and dark. We all have good and bad. Like, the trick is to keep yourself in balance and to stay in control of the choices you make and how you react to situations. When these demons come up, or when you notice that there's a side of yourself and you're like, damn, like, this is a part of who I am, and you're ready to kind of bring that side of you more into self-love so you can then alchemize it and use it with compassion and unconditional love instead of using it to harm people. Remember that that part of you is a piece of you, but it's not you. So don't attach to it. Don't get into like this guilt mindset or this shame mindset where you're like, oh, that's completely who I am. No, you may have a bad trait. You may have a part of you that's came from traumas or past issues with people, past things you've been through. That's part of life. We all have our own demons. We all have our own dark side. We all have our own struggles. No one's perfect. Just remember to do your best to approach that side of yourself and try to bring it into where you can connect with it out of unconditional love, where you can accept that side of yourself, where you can accept like, okay, that is a part of me. This is the reason I am that way, or this is what caused this part of me to come into fruition. But now I'm ready to forgive it and to love it unconditionally and to alchemize it into using it for better instead of harming others outside of me or myself. Remember to stay grounded, centered in yourself. Do not give up something because it is hard. It will be accomplished if you keep trying. Will and energy together accomplish great things. So with the 8 of Earth reminding us that the bigger picture, whatever you're trying to create, it's built stone by stone. You got to do day by day. Like, you can't cheat. You can't shortcut the work you got to do to get to where you want to be or to create what you want to create. The 7 of Fire is also reminding you that even if the trenches are dark right now, even if you're like, oh, I want to create this, but like, it feels like impossible right now. It's not impossible. Don't give up. You just need to rise up, find your confidence, find your inner strength, stand up and do the hard work, do the nitty gritty work, even when it's hard. Just show up knowing that what you're doing is going to pay off. Find faith in that, find peace in that. The next card that we drew is Ace of Earth. This card reminds you to connect with nature. You may be needing to ground yourself a little bit to kind of come home to yourself and your morals, your beliefs, who you really are, like what you really want to bring into this life. The Ace of Earth is the earth gives birth to giants. It's time to grow. So it tells you that you can go into nature, and Gaia is the goddess of this card, the Greek goddess of the earth. You can seek her wisdom in nature by holding stones in your hands or listening to the stirring of leaves around you or the play of a body of water around you. It also says you can watch the flight of birds, or you can go to sacred places, which means you could like hike, go explore nature, go find some places. Embracing your life is not a one-time task. For the best results, keep your arms open and keep going. Be brave enough to work on your big dream. Take a vow to make manifest the next idea that contains a seed of something good. It doesn't have to be the greatest or only idea you will ever have. Show you are serious about making things happen, and they will. Honor the source of your resources. Work to strengthen and repair your connections and relationships where necessary. Without access to resources, you cannot get anywhere. Give me just a second, guys. All right, guys. Okay, it's recording. I'm back. The Eight of Earth, everything's done stone by stone, day by day, can't cheat it. Seven of Fire, rise up or the demons win. If you're fighting with a dark side of yourself, a side of yourself that you're ready to alchemize or to release, don't let it win. Acknowledge it for what it is, and also acknowledge that you don't have to identify with it. You are you still. Ground yourself, center yourself. The Ace of Earth reminding you to connect with nature. Part of coming home to ourselves and living in our true self, our soul, and going on our own unique paths, it's not done in just one day. Like, there are several tests in life that you're going to go through. There are several different obstacles you're going to have to overcome, and these are mainly mental and spiritual, like just learning to evolve and grow and get yourself where you need to be. So this is kind of reminding you to make the most of it. Even if you're like in a dark time and you're struggling, don't be afraid to go have fun too. Like, to go just explore yourself, go find yourself, go explore the earth, go see, you know, the resources it can give you. And it can also be very meditative if you go by yourself, or you can also go with friends. The next card that we drew is Three of Earth, which is actually the goddess Norns, which is the Norse goddesses of destiny. It represents small stitches weave the world, do your part. So this is a reminder that now is not the time to rush or skip steps, lest the final result be less strong, beautiful, and useful than it may otherwise be. Do it right the first time, which is also just going to go back to the Eight of Earth, which is reminding you everything's done one day at a time, stone by stone. Do the work you can do, take care of yourself. Give yourself love, compassion, grace, everything you need. Self-care is a major thing. Make sure you're getting out in nature. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're getting sunlight. Make sure you're staying hydrated. The Three of Earth is just a reminder that not only are you doing work to make yourself better, to make your world better, or to try to make the world better, there are other people in this world who are also doing the same. They're doing their work too. There are other people around us who also want the world to be a better place for everyone in it. But we're all responsible for doing our own individual work. So don't get overwhelmed on thinking that maybe you're responsible for fixing the world. Just know that what you do in your own time to fix yourself so you can be better for this world we live in, it will pay off, because there's other people here doing that same work too. Cooperative efforts bring success. What you struggle to do may be a job for someone who can embrace it. Offering what you have and can do may be a blessing to another. Look for opportunities to share your skills. Beware of saboteurs of your abilities and your work. Do not feed the dragons through conflict or doubt. Write down what you want to happen as if it has already occurred. Handwrite it using a magical or beautiful piece of paper. Be wise with your wishes. Make one for you, one for another, and one for the tree. So with that being said, don't be afraid to find other people who are on a similar path as you, whether it be a healing path or whether it be you guys kind of have similar larger pictures where you kind of want to get to the same place. Or it could be the larger picture is being healed and be a healthier person and be better for the world and humanity. You never know, whatever the case is. It's just saying that, like, there are genuine people around you, and if you meet people who have similar skills to you or have different skills than you, but you're both working towards the same goal, there's nothing wrong with working together in a genuine way. Just make sure that it's very balanced and healthy. Make sure you're not disrespecting each other or using each other. Make sure it's very reciprocal. You do need to beware of people, though, who will show up and pretend to want what you want, or pretend to want what's best for you, or pretend to want to help you for your best interest, but in reality, they're just going to be draining you, or they're just wanting to leech onto you and your energy to get themselves there without doing the work that you're having to do. So keep that in mind. The next card that we drew is Five of Air. This goddess is, okay, this is another one I can't pronounce. Harionago. It's a Japanese spirit of mischief and mayhem. It's representative of the situation is without honor, engage at your peril. If you would lose too much and engagement cannot be avoided, use your own cunning as necessary to extricate yourself. For now, you win by getting away. The situation may not be lose-lose, but it is definitely not a win-win. A redefinition of the ground rules is needed before parity can be achieved. Be wary, someone is not being honest or may be incapable of honesty given the situation. Look to yourself and not to the ethics of another to preserve your interest and integrity. During delicate negotiations, do not reveal your hand. Do not bristle at every offense. Having a chip on your shoulder makes you a target. Leaving a chip on your shoulder builds a burden you must bear. Like I said at the beginning, you may be going through a time of conflict with someone or with several people. You may be outgrowing some people or whatever, but there may also be the means that like there's no way out of having to be involved with each other right now, if that makes sense. There may be children involved, maybe not, but there may be. What this card kind of represents is that if cutting these people off completely in your situation, like genuinely just cutting them out, would kind of do more harm to everyone in the situation than good for the outcome. You don't have to be buddy-buddy with them. You don't have to trust them. You don't have to like them. But you can kind of use your own cunning just to get through what you have to get through. Which kind of means like when you need to show up, show up. Show up genuinely. Show up with pure intent. But don't attach to the people. Don't let them have an effect on you. Don't let them change your mood or your emotions. Let them be responsible for them and you be responsible for you, but do your part of what needs to be done in the situation until you can get out of it. The situation may not be lose-lose, but it's definitely not a win-win. So you could just be in a hard situation where really the only genuine, like true way to get through it is to kind of sit down and really make sure everyone's being heard and respected, and make sure that, or try, not make sure, because sometimes this isn't possible, but try to see if everyone could come together and sit down and just like make some new ground rules and like say, okay, like this isn't a good situation. None of us want to be in this situation, but we're here and we need to make the best of it, and we need to do what we can genuinely and with pure intent for the best of all. And like I said, there may be children involved. That's usually a sign that children are involved, because usually when children are involved, it's really hard to get out of certain situations. So keep that in mind. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're not attaching to the people in the situation. Make sure you're not draining yourself for them. Make sure you're not absorbing their energy or emotions. Make sure you're not absorbing their projections of you or their perceptions of you. You are who you are. Just because they say you're something or someone doesn't mean that you are. So that could be another part of the conflicts going on. So just make sure you stay true to you, stay grounded, take care of yourself. You're not responsible for anyone else in the situation. You're only responsible for yourself, but you can be responsible and hold yourself accountable for showing up and doing what you can do no matter what they're doing. The next card we drew is Three of Water. This card is the goddess Mami Wata, and she is the Igbo goddess of ardor and fidelity, and her card represents to dance for yourself, for the tribe, for me. It's a reminder to love your friends and lovers faithfully with spirit, sincerity, and action. Celebrate their existence with presence in a party. Rhythm is ebb and flow, the alternating of sound and silence over time. Use rhythm to understand the dynamic of your situation, and you will know when to pull back and when to push forward. When you need to pull back, rest your heart in quiet communion. When it is time to go forward, take the next step. Listen for the rhythms within you. Center upon your breath. Try to feel your heartbeat. See if you sense the echo of something deeper and more mysterious sounding in your soul. Merge with music, anything from a simple rhythm to a symphony. Listen, dance, sway until you forget yourself, until you know yourself as ebb and flow, sound and silence, power and creativity. This card can also signify wherever you are, whatever situation you're in, just remember to acknowledge those who are there for you and you in your life, who support you genuinely and who genuinely want what's best for you and want to help you get there. Make sure you're loving them faithfully, purely, unconditionally, with pure intent. Don't drain them. Don't use them. Remember, you're responsible for you. They're responsible for them. Make sure it's a very healthy relationship, no matter what it is. This is just a sign to when you do find yourself kind of just like in a rut or kind of numb, just like, well, what do I do now? Like, I'm kind of sitting here, nothing to do. I'm doing what I need to do. Nothing's happening. I'm not where I want to be yet. Listen to music. Learn to lean on music and find what works for you. Dance and use your sensual body. Hold on, guys. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. My son was feeding my dog food that she is not allowed to have. The next card that we drew is Two of Fire. This is the goddess Hecate. I may be saying that wrong. I'm not good at saying her name. She is the Greek goddess of the crossroads. Her card represents that you don't need a path to find your way, which also works with, like, you know, going in nature and making the best of the situation you're in and listening to music, loving the people around you who love you, even when it's dark, even when you don't know what's going on or if you're doing the right thing or if what you're doing is paying off or getting you to where you want to go. Find peace and faith in the unknown and the uncertainty, and just know that you don't need a path to find your way. It says when you are at a crossroads and have a choice to make, move toward what you know is true over what you wish were true. Success comes when both intuition and reason are respected and offer equal guidance. Accept the next meaningful opportunity that appears. Trust that if you take the first step, you will be guided to the next. You may wish for power, but if you are reluctant to step up and take it, to seize the moment, it will remain mere wishful thinking. This is a card to just remind you that even if you're in this dark time and you're in a conflict with people that you really can't get out of, you have to kind of just get through it and push through it and put up with the people. You can do it, and you don't need a path to find your way. So what that means is that you are in control of your own life, your own reality, your own path, your own choices, and where you go. No one else has control over it. So just keep that in mind. Whenever you do come to crossroads or where you're in a sense of having to make a decision where you have like one thing or another, don't stay indecisive. Look at the pros and cons of each. Make sure you weigh where each of those is going to lead you, if that makes sense. Make sure you stay centered in what you know is true, not what you wish were true. So if you come at a crossroads and you're like, oh, this is the reality I want to happen with everyone involved, so if I make this decision, it's going to get there. You also have to make sure you're centered in knowing that you don't have control over anyone outside of yourself. So even though you may want a reality for everyone involved, you may want this bigger, good, healthy picture, that doesn't mean everyone else involved wants that picture. And it doesn't mean that everyone else is going to be willing to go after that bigger picture with you. So you could be, if you make that choice, it could just be the wrong choice because you end up doing it by yourself, draining yourself, going after an image that actually isn't possible. So kind of just make sure you're staying grounded. Anytime you have to make a decision, make sure you're doing what is best for you and everyone else involved in the best way possible. Remember, you're responsible for you, they're responsible for them. You can't control anyone. You can't control if anyone wants to step up and do their part, but you can control yourself. So when you have decisions to make, ultimately just look at the bigger picture, look at what's best for you and your true self and where you're going, where you're headed for yourself, and make the decision that will best benefit you and everyone in the long run, if possible. If you have another opportunity appear, and it's a genuine opportunity, it could be a job, it could be an opportunity to help someone or a group of people or a situation in some way, don't hesitate to take it. Have confidence in yourself. The next one that we drew is Amazon of Earth, which is the goddess Artemis. And he is the Greek goddess of wild animals. And it says, vile is the one who would discipline the innocent. Vile is the one who would discipline the innocent. I love that saying. Vile is the one who would discipline the innocent. Purify the space you live in. Clean it energetically and physically. Clear out something you no longer care for but have kept due to nostalgia or obligation. Make your home into a place where your true self shines. Purify the environment you live in. Go for a walk and pick up trash. Go for a walk instead of a drive. Plant and care for trees. Use fewer products that are manufactured. Take steps to travel more swiftly and lightly upon the earth. Care for the little ones. Defend those who cannot defend themselves. Teach strength through example. Make sure that companions in your venture share your most important values. Do not be pressured into a compromise that your spirit cannot tolerate. Shun the bullies, prosecute the trespassers, and do not be intimidated by potential conflict. Stay strong, but most of all, stay free. You have weapons at your disposal. Aim carefully, shoot with a true heart, and you will achieve your goal. This card is a reminder that sometimes it is necessary to stand up to people. Sometimes it is necessary to cause a little uproar with some people, especially if they're doing wrong, especially if children are involved. Keep that in mind. I'm really getting the energy that children are involved in this situation. The Amazon of Earth, Vile is the one who would discipline the innocent. So accept the fact that you have weapons to use. Accept the fact that you are capable of holding someone accountable in a sense, or calling them out on their bullshit, basically. You are capable of making choices that can affect their reality, maybe in a negative way in their sense, but it could be positive in protecting someone who can't protect themselves. But you need to make sure that you don't get egotistical with these weapons that you own. Don't get egotistical. Don't use a weapon on someone who genuinely isn't doing anything wrong. Don't use a weapon on someone who is genuinely innocent in a situation. So make sure you're using your weapons and your who you are, like your morals, your beliefs, and your power to affect a situation. Make sure you're using that out of unconditional love and pure, genuine intention. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're not doing it for an underlying animosity towards someone outside of you, because what you put in the world will come back to you. Make sure you clean your home energetically and physically. Get some sage. Clean your home, smudge it, get the energies out. Energy from people you've let in your home, energies from old versions of you, energies from people who used to live in the home before you. Clean your home. Physically, get rid of things. It's not good to hoard and to hold on to things, even if it may have like a sentimental meaning. It can be sentimental, but it's still just a material thing taking up space and energy, and it's holding energy from a past time that is causing that energy to stay in your energy field. And it may be time to release some of it. So go through your things, kind of purge some things, let some things go, especially with the full moon coming up on the 13th in 3 days. This is a time to do that. It's a great time to clean some things out. Also do your work with the earth and with the environment, and because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Earth, so we need to take care of her and feed back into her. She is where we come from, and that means like you can go clean up trash. People who don't take care of her, you can do your part, clean up what you can. Plant, take care of trees. You can clean up nature. You can clean up around bodies of water. That's a good way to do it. Shun the bullies, prosecute the trespassers, defend those who cannot defend themselves. Children. Our job on this earth as human beings is to protect children, to keep them safe, to keep them protected, and to respect their rights as human beings, and to teach them in a genuine and pure way how to handle life and the obstacles that are going to come in their lives in the future. If people are doing wrong by a child, do not be afraid of conflict. Do not be afraid of standing up. Do not be afraid of using your voice, because no child has the power to affect a situation with adults who have power over them. So if you are an adult and you know there's unjust being done by a child, do not be afraid to do what you need to do to stand up for that child. And it's that simple. Do so from unconditional love of all and from pure and genuine intentions. Don't do it to harm the person doing harm to the child. Do it simply out of just wanting that child to be respected and to protect them in every way possible. The next card that we drew is Four of Earth. This goddess is Sphinx. And this goddess is the Greek monster of fate, and it represents that how you define your life limits your life. Your words are very powerful. What you say about your life, what you say about yourself, what you say about who you are, what you say about where you are, you're manifesting it. Keep that in mind. Definitions work two ways: helping you understand reality and separating your perception from reality. Find your own reality, the only position you must defend, and find the center of your power. Honor what you have to work with in this one sacred lifetime: your body, your mind, your heart, and your external resources. Be disciplined with what you should be using better. Be careful with what you should respect more. Protect your resources from greed and abuse. Look ahead. Your story will end someday. Where it will end and how it will be remembered are written through your actions in the present. Life is about more than what one possesses. It is about what one leaves behind. Make sure you are living a life that you are going to be proud of being read out loud when you're gone, basically. Make sure you're doing what's right. Make sure you're doing your work. Make sure you're getting up and you're doing your work to do day by day to get you where you want to go, to get to the bigger picture you're focused on. Do your work to get this world to a better and a healthier place. Lean on those who have the same goals as you, who have skills similar to you, or who may have different skills but have the same goals, and you can work together and lean off of each other to get to where you're going a little quicker. Remember, we all have a dark side. Don't be afraid to accept your dark side, but remember that you are in control of it. You ultimately are in control of it, and you're not attached to it, and you don't have to identify with that side. So rise up. Make sure you fight the dark side of life. Make sure you fight those demons and you keep them out of your decision making and out of your psyche, basically. But don't fight yourself. Don't get so caught up in the fact that you have a demon that you see yourself as a demon. All right, guys. Just remember, with that Sinks card, with the how you define your life limits your life, remember that your mouth, your words, they have a lot of power. Every single word you use every single day of your life, you choose what comes out of your mouth, and what comes out of your mouth manifests into reality. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're living by the morals and the beliefs that you truly believe in and identify with, and make sure that they're genuinely for the good of all, not only for the good of you, but for the good of all. The next card that we drew is the Ten of Earth. This goddess is Ayla, the Igbo goddess of the ground. This card reminds you, kin and kind, living and dead, all are part of one another. If there is bad blood between you and another, this is a good time to make peace. Let the relationship be honest, neither idealized nor denied. Let your encounter be respectful and straightforward. If the other has transgressed too severely, let the relationship go. Leave the other to Allah. Do not seek vengeance. Seek people who are trustworthy. Whatever it is that you're going through, I do get a sense that some children are involved. I do get a sense that there might be a separation happening with someone, possibly. Sadly, when there's conflict between two people, or there's a separation, or there's a time of where some people are outgrowing the others, or they have different morals, different beliefs, and it's a time where you got to learn to respect each other. This can happen between family members. This could be coworkers, friends, a past partner, someone you're with now. If you have bad blood with somebody, don't be afraid to show up and sit down with them and try to make peace. Making peace doesn't mean that you have to give up your side. It doesn't mean you have to give up your truth. It doesn't mean that you have to give up what you experienced with that person. But making peace also means kind of respecting both sides, respecting both experiences, respecting their truth and your truth, and not being afraid to take accountability for what you've done wrong, to take accountability for maybe things that you did that you shouldn't have done, things that you said that shouldn't have been said, or just ways that you handled the situation that weren't the best. Make sure if you do sit down with somebody to try to make peace, keep in mind peace is not always possible. If this situation has gone far enough to where even at least one party of the situation does not want to reconcile anyway, or does not want to be a part of a resolution, they just want to let go of it, let them go. Respect it. You have no choice, especially if you've done wrong by them. You have no choice. But if they've done wrong by you and they don't want to be accountable and they don't want to do what's right to respect you and to try to work towards making the situation better, you gotta let them go. You can control you. You can't control anyone else. Make sure if you do come into an encounter with these people to try to find peace, make sure you stay respectful and straightforward on what you are there for and there to represent. Make sure you don't get stuck in projecting or in hurting the other person any more than what's already been done. Do not seek vengeance, seek people who are trustworthy. If the situation is not possible to be fixed or healed or in any way, if it's not possible for the situation to move forward or to move towards any form of healing or any form of working together again in a healthy manner, don't it's going to hurt, but don't take that pain and don't let the pain take control of you to where you want to hurt the person. You can't control the situation. You can control yourself and how you respond. So take your pain, take your truth, your experience, and if it's done between the two of you or between the group of people, whatever, if it's a time where it's to part ways, make sure you do so in a way where you wish that person well, even if they hurt you, even if they did something wrong by you, they disrespected you. Genuinely know that you're doing what's best for you, you're doing right by yourself, and you're standing up for what's right in your own experience, in your own truth, and wish them the best out of unconditional love. Genuinely, it's the best way to go, and just move forward and find people who you can truly connect with and who see you for who you are and who want to love you the way that you deserve to be loved, and focus on that and try to move forward. If you have good fortune, this is a good time to celebrate it. Gather friends and family for a feast. Buy things of value for your home and gifts for your loved ones. Buy from your community. Support people whose work you admire. Include the less fortunate in your giving. So just remember that you have an effect on everyone around you, whether it be your family, whether it be friends, whether it be coworkers, whether it just flat out be the community that you live in and reside in. If you have good fortune, if you have excess of resources to do things with, it's a good time to take control of it. Do what you want, kind of celebrate yourself, celebrate the life of others. Even if you don't know somebody but they have a small business, go support them, go buy something from them that you like. Buy things for people you love, people you're grateful for, people who have supported you, people who have brought you to where you are today. Don't be afraid to spoil them a little bit. Make sure you do it from unconditional love and don't go overboard, don't drain yourself. Make sure you buy from your community. Help feed back into the community you live into. Find small businesses. Find businesses in the community that you can kind of support. Put your hands on the bare earth. Feel the immensity opening up beneath them. Everything is there beneath you and all around you. The past and the future, the dead and the unborn. The power to bring forth all things time and time again. Feel this power swell up into your own hands and know that you can make, that what you can make, and know what you can make and what you can give. Basically, it's a reminder that we are one with the earth, with Mother Nature. Remember that death is a part of life. It's a part of the cycle of life. Everything that lives eventually dies. Everything that hasn't been born yet, Mother Nature already knows what's about to come into fruition, even if we don't know. Just remember to take care of the earth and to connect to the earth when you can. Make sure you spend time in nature. Renew your basic connection with the earth on a regular basis, with hands, feet, and more. Remember where your life comes from and where your life is lived. So remember to connect and to ground with the earth. Bare feet, bare hands, touch the earth on a regular basis. You can make it a daily practice. You can make it a consistent practice where you go on hikes or you go on little adventures in nature, but make it a practice to reconnect with the earth. Remember what she does offer us. Remember to be grateful and to recognize it and to make the most of where you are and what you have. The last card we pulled is the Liberation card. This is the only major arcana card that I pulled in this reading today. The goddess is Persephone, and she's the Greek goddess of resurrection. It represents that the past is not forgotten, yet life begins anew. The situation that you're going through right now is charged with meaning and potential. You have the opportunity to break a negative cycle, to break through to another level of awareness, and an opportunity to exercise that awareness for a greater good. Two worlds exist for you, the spiritual and the mundane, the real world and the other world, the lands of the living and the land of the dead. You are walking them both, so give each other their due of thought, respect, and care. Two halves are less divisive the larger you become. Pain and shock are not the end of the story and are not the definition of your life. Healing and power are. You have far to go. You have the resources to get there. Follow a calling, follow the dream, follow your dream. It is time to find your path from here to fulfillment. This card is just a sign that this situation you're in, I think children are definitely involved. You may be separating with somebody, or you may have been separated with someone for a while. There may be several people involved in this situation. Make sure, this reading, the biggest energy that I'm getting from this reading is that this is a time for you to take accountability and responsibility for yourself, for what you've done in the situation, the part you've played, the way it's affected everyone in the situation, choices you've made in the past, and to take accountability and responsibility to make the changes you need to make inside and outside of yourself, and really just take the responsibility to be better for everyone involved, for yourself, and for the future, and for the world as a whole. Remember to stay in contact with nature. That really helps you stay grounded. It really helps you stay true to who you are and what you want to manifest in life. Remember that your words are powerful. Everything you speak has power. Your life is what you define it as. So speak highly of yourself. Speak love for yourself and for those around you. But remember that death is a part of life. No matter what, death is at the end of life. So make sure what you're doing in this life, you're going to be proud of someone speaking of when you're gone. You're going to be proud of knowing that you made the choices you made, knowing you did the work that you needed to do while you were here and had the possibility of doing it in your lifetime. The Liberation card is just really a card that, this card always gives me the feeling that you may be stuck in, you're feeling this darkness right now, but you need to realize that literally with just a choice, like just a recognition of your responsibilities in this lifetime, you can move to the other side. And don't forget that the past is not forgotten, yet life begins anew. Things happen. People make decisions that are not the best for everyone involved. We all do. We all do things wrong. We all do things that we think are right, but later on we realize, hey, maybe that wasn't the best decision. Remember that the past should be respected, that it did happen, it was real, and that it did play a part in getting you where you are right now. So also remember to be grateful for it, so you can then build new on top of it and build from a place of not only knowing better, but wanting to do better for everyone involved. I hope this reading finds who it's meant to find. If you have any questions, you're welcome to comment, and I would love feedback. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see y'all tomorrow.